Earth, the planet where we live and multiply generations after generations, the only home of mankind. Our ignorance has caused massive emission of greenhouse gases, and our greed has made vegetation quickly disappear. We created the greenhouse effect, yet in the meantime, we eliminated the natural enemy of it, vegetation. As a result, the temperature of the Earth keeps rising, and it's already caused the melting of the ice sheet of the North Pole. It's said that if the methane gas beneath the ice sheet of the North Pole was completely released, mankind would have to move out of the Earth within 200 years. We damaged the nature, the harmony and the balance of the Earth. And today, she is expressing her anger towards us through such extreme weathers as flood and drought. If we don't wake up in time and correct and mend the mistakes we made, put our behavior within God's bounds and let nature, harmony, and balance reappear on Earth, God will have to solve it in His own way. And it's us, the mankind, who will pay a high and painful price. The huge disasters and losses caused by extreme weathers of the Earth are obvious to all. In a moment like this, every one of us must take actions to change this situation. For this purpose, with our capacity of quickly building water delivery systems, water storage systems, and water treatment and recycling systems, we launched the Gaia plan. And in the hope of doing our bit for the prevention or minimizing of disasters. Because of the obstruction of mountains and the power of drought, the rain that's supposed to be brought to the dry areas by the monsoon falls early on the moist side of the mountains, resulting in less rainfall in drier areas. While moist areas have far more rainfall than they actually need, even suffer from floods. Dry areas are already short of water, and it becomes even more difficult for them in dry seasons. Not only is it difficult for people and livestock to survive, but it is also very difficult for the vegetation to be recovered once damaged. Vegetation is disappearing at an alarming rate in many areas. As vegetation reduces, not only will dry areas become even drier, but the regulating effect on the greenhouse effect will also become weaker and weaker. For this purpose, DORIKA Group has developed a series of products and solutions and formed the three capacities of water storage, water delivery, and water recycling, hoping to effectively relieve the situation of imbalance of water in time and space through water delivery, water storage, and water recycling. The capacity of water storage solves the imbalance of water resources in time. The capacity of water delivery solves the imbalance of water resources in space. And the recycling maximizes the utilization rate of water resources. Before the arrival of the rainy season, small water reservoirs can be constructed fast and at low cost with the Type A gravity walls autonomously developed by DORIKA Group for water storage. At the same time, water reservoirs and terminal water storage stations can be constructed in dry areas to improve their water storage capacity. Instead of being wasted, the rainwater in the rainy season can be stored and delivered to dry areas through pipe networks to meet their desperate needs. They can also be used as anti-flood walls in areas often flooded, thus reducing losses and preventing disasters. If the rainfall becomes too much and might cause flood, such places with high value as residential areas, factories can be quickly protected with Type A walls, or the river course can be directly raised so that the flood can continue flowing downstream. thus avoiding areas with relatively high value and avoiding the threat of flood to the safety of lives and properties of people to some extent. When the dry season arrives, the water stored in small water reservoirs can be provided to local residents, farms, and factories, thus solving the imbalance of water resources in time. DORIKA Group uses pipe networks to deliver water from relatively rich areas to dry areas, and devices for fast laying of pipelines were designed to solve the problem of slow slaying, which greatly shortened the period of pipeline laying. The pipelines can be either hard ones or soft ones, in which the hard ones can be used for a longer time at a low cost, while the soft ones can be laid fast so that the drought can be relieved quickly. The fast pipeline laying devices of DORIKA Group greatly improved its capacity of pipeline laying so that the drought can be relieved effectively and timely, and substantially lowered the cost of pipeline construction. As the number of water reservoirs and circular tanks increases, a huge system of water storage and water delivery will be created. One small water reservoir or several water tanks can cover an area of about 100 square kilometers. If the water is stored in the rainy season, after irrigation, thousands or even tens of thousands of cubic meters of water can be stored in the terminals, thus effectively reducing the losses caused by extreme weathers. In areas where population and economy concentrate and water resources are relatively scarce, through fast construction of concentrated stations of water storage and water treatment, fresh water can be delivered into the town, while the domestic wastewater in the town can be recycled. And after treatment, the water can be used in such fields as irrigation of farmlands, livestock breeding, and production of factories. In this way, the total water use of the area will be greatly reduced, thus saving the precious water resources. Modular circular tanks can be customized and installed fast according to the needs at relatively low prices, and the construction period is short. They have shown prominent performance in the earthquake happened in Yibing, Sichuan, China, not influenced by the earthquake at all, while containing large amount of flowback fluid. Distributed terminal water storage lowers the cost because it lowers the requirements for the storage equipment. In addition to not damaging the environment, it also effectively lowers the risk of large water reservoirs causing earthquakes. With the safeguarding and supporting of water, economy will be developed. A lot of vegetation will gradually begin to recover, and the environment will slowly become more friendly, thus realizing the nature, the harmony, and the balance of the area. Once the vegetation in dry areas has the support of water, not only will it be easier for it to survive, it might even recover in large areas. Let's moisten and protect our earth like Goddess Gaia did, and put our behavior within God's bounds and eventually restore the nature, the harmony, and the balance of the earth. We shall make good use of the water resources God gave us, make the earth alive again, and mend with vegetation the mistakes and scars we already caused. To protect the earth is to protect ourselves. The earth can live without us, but we cannot live without it, for it is the only home we've got.